Good morning, good morning, and welcome back to GOAT Media Invest, formerly known as the Coin King channel. The disclaimer: the content presented on this channel is for informational and educational purposes only and should not be considered financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. All opinions expressed are solely those of the presenter and are based on publicly available information. Investing and trading involve risk, including the potential loss of principal. Always conduct your own research and consult with a qualified financial professional before making any investment decisions. I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. Let's start there. Had a wonderful weekend. Didn't get too wrapped up in the charts or anything of that nature. All right. So for the Bitcoin chart, let's kick things off here on the daily time frame. You can see that we are holding VWAP at the moment. We are holding VWAP. This is we also got a bounce off of the golden pocket, which is just a local pull from this low here to that high. So golden pocket VWAP hold at the moment. We're putting in some bearish divergence, continuing the bearish divergence. We just put it to you that way. From a few days back. So this attempted move up here. Also rejection from the value area low, of the range, and then a subsequent VWAP rejection as well. So not not looking too juicy at the moment. I am thinking that we could possibly get a pullback to back test the lows before we get our continuation down. We'll find out once market opens. As always, I do leave at 8 o'clock, so I may not be here for it, but we will take a look at that. But not looking too hot right now for Bitcoin. We could be looking for a golden pocket, or if it golden pocket to a maybe a more bullish setup around a 382 50% retracement to the downside. I do have that field pull on my lower time frame, which I'm about to switch over to. I just wanted to let you see like what we're working with right now. So you can see this is the VWAP here off of the low here. And then of course our two touch points from our most recent trend line through here. So that's that VWAP. And then that's the next one to the upside. I did cover the potential for the move to the upside to take out the liquidity here um, in the event that Bitcoin did have the muscle to move up. We just basically ranged all weekend long. It was very tight consolidation range all weekend long. Let me switch my chart down here. Okay, not supply zone. Let me come right here. All right, so you can see how over the weekend, this is what we did. We basically ranged in between a more local value area range here in between the value area high and, consistently breaking below the point of control, basically. So the point of control hasn't really meant a lot in this situation. I do like to add VWAP in those cases. And then I'll tend to use VWAP as opposed to the point of control. I don't have one on this particular chart though. But we're still in our mother bar. We got a mother bar high here and a mother bar low here. So we are still coiling. Remember the coiling that I showed you on the daily time frame from that mother bar and the symmetrical triangle that we were creating. Well, we got the break out of the symmetrical triangle, but we never took the liquidity above the mother bar. Or we did, and it was just a little scratch. Let me see. I don't think that we did though. This high was 64, 692. Yep. We no, we did not take the liquidity from the top side of the mother bar. So that i- that could mean that we take the liquidity from the low of the mother bar first. And hopefully it's just a sweep and we bounce back because if it's not, then we will continue to roll over. We've been testing and testing and testing the $60,000 range, 61 to $6,000 range. So um that could be the implication here. I can put on the midpoint here, which may line up with this value area low, but let's see. What is my looks like I'm gonna have to add it in here as it is not here. I don't wanna delete anything. I'll just use this. Okay. Alright, so we are currently above that midpoint of our range at the moment, but it's easier to just go with the value area low. They're so close together, right? But that's basically all we did. We got this little it's been low volume all weekend long, just really low petty volume all weekend long. Um 1 hour volume a tad bit better from what I can tell, but when you go to the 15-minute, you can just see how shifty the volume was. So um that is a scenario, potentially taking out the liquidity from the mother bar low since we didn't take it from our high, which was something that we were looking for on Friday, taking that liquidity from the mother bar high. I am no longer in a short position. I actually got stopped out over the weekend. I did pay attention to the chart. I did jump in here and there just because the volume was really low and I don't know, the moves just seemed sus. So I did take a short here, and this wick stopped me out. I did not pursue a new short position at all. So I am looking to get into a position. I'm looking to get into a position. Hopefully that happens while we're streaming. All right, let me drop down a little bit more here. All right, so here we go with our 15-minute time frame. So here you can see the actual golden pocket that I was talking about when I said we tapped into that VWAP presented to you on the daily time frame, and also it's the golden pocket tap as well. If let's see what we're lining up with here. I hide my indicators for a minute. 6, 2, 4. Okay, so this 50% retracement, which is what the second green line is right here. So the 50% retracement would line up with the mother bar low. So it's somewhere around in here for that mother bar low. And then I mentioned to you, let me see. You know what? I'm just going to keep it at that for now. I did mention these lows right here. I think that there is a chance that price comes back up and back tests this low, the low through here or if we're gonna get a continuation to the downside, that is. If the mother bar low liquidity would be the first thing that gets taken. I lean heavy on a back test of this region here. A lot of activity around this zone right here. When I take a look at the options interest, it sits right in here. So that's something to watch for. But right now, we are seeing a little bit of a rejection as we're putting in some bearish divergence. And we were pretty steep on some of our indicators here. I did a little bit of playing around over the weekend, also playing around with Some new indicators. Nothing. I mean, nothing that I didn't have before. Actually, it's not even new. It's me updating things. So I did an update to my market conditions indicator. I did an update to that one. I also did an update here on well, actually, this one isn't. This one's a little bit new, a little bit new. Same old indicators all together, though they're all together right here. Um, this is my Swiss Army oscillator. So it has the main indicators that I tend to look at um, here. So that's what I did um, over the weekend. I like it so far. I do have some other things that I need to do to clean it up a bit, and some other things I need to do to clean it up. But I like it. It did it did in the process delete a lot of information that I had on the chart when I did it. For some reason, I don't know why TradingView does that, but it deleted a lot of data from indicators I wasn't using. Once I deleted what I did have in here, it affected it on other assets as well. Don't know why. I don't know why. At least for this first pain, it did so. All right, so this is a good old Biddy. Let me see if I can't. I don't like for it to. Okay. I was like, when shall it come? When shall it come? There it is. All right. I did some trading on Hyperliquid also over the weekend. Um, Again, these zones were really, 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 really tight here. Looking to see if we can manage to hold if we get down here into the golden pocket for Hyperliquid. At least see if we can't do that. Pull from the low to this tippity top high right here. See if we don't hold here at this golden pocket region here. But everything is looking pretty bearish right now. Um, Zach in here did end up taking the liquidity off of this high and hitting a little bit of resistance here. I would actually like to see Zcash come back and kiss this VWAP. So if Zcash can come back and tap into the bottom side of the support level here, along with this VWAP, I would consider it. I do understand that we will have broken through this momentum line here, which is something that we didn't do on this back test. But I do want to see how it measures up. If it were to get a drop down in here, I would consider entering into a long position on Zcash. Otherwise, I would be waiting for this one here to be tapped instead. Uh, I like this here. I don't know if that also meshes up with any sort of VWAP level. I mean, any fib level. Okay, so it would be somewhere right here looking to see if people are still willing to pay a little extra for it. I will. I'll pay a little extra to be a part of it. If we were to get a move right there, that'd be cool. Solanza. On Friday, we were looking at Solana in this rising structure here. We put a measure move to the upside and a measure move to the downside. We ended up breaking down here, and we're beyond what the measure move would have been for this right here. But we also talked about this 382 here, or this 50 being a good entry point for Solana on Friday. That's what we talked about. So we just actually came into it. Actually, just came into it. And if I put you on another time frame to look at it, you can see the difference here. So took a little liquidity over here to the left. If it doesn't bounce from here, then I will be looking down here at 74.01. This looks a little bit better since we have closed below the 382, but this does look a little bit better. And again, measure move has been fulfilled. So 50% retracement, $74 here for Solana. We hit our support level on USDT dominance, which is also why Bitcoin is, you know, I don't know. The weekend has been kind of crazy. It looks like Bitcoin might be continuing to roll over. But here you can see that we did come back again. I mean, we've been hammering away at this trend line right here. We until we lose this, until we yeah. I mean, we lost it over here, but then we reclaimed back above it. Um, but we did come back into the low of our broadening, ascending broadening formation, which is a bearish formation. We just haven't gave two hoops about it, but we did end up holding it again as support, just like we did over here, bounce, bounce, bounce until we broke it, and then we bang, 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 and then broke back in. But it has been, it's been holding up. It's been holding up. So we tapped this again, and that also has a lot to do with Biddy at the moment. At some point, I hope that we do lose it because I'm not interested in a lot. Look, we got a question here from the Coin King. Are you bullish or bearish in the crypto market? I am neither. I'm neither right now. And we haven't really moved. We're just sideways and choppy. And don't forget, we do still have the bullish divergence on Bitcoin and the bearish dips here on we have the bearish dips here on USDT dominance, but it doesn't look like anything is changing just yet. If you remember our idea about potentially a five-wave move still to come on Bitcoin. I'm not Bitcoin, but on USDT dominance, potentially. Even though we have the bear dips, everything here still looks decent until it doesn't. So right now, I don't have I don't have a bearish bias on USDT dominance. Not right now, not according to the weekly time frame, I don't. Let me take a look at some other stuff in here because I did notice SpaceX still looking trashy at the moment. Um, will we fill out this measured move, which, as you recall, it was a symmetrical triangle in here that this move right here was measured off of. And then from there, as we started to continue to fall, after trying to find a place where I thought that price could potentially bounce, and it was just all fail, to just saying, you know what, VWAP and descending trend line rejection. That's what we'll be looking for here. And sure enough, it's still not looking juicy just yet. Do have the 1.618 just in case this is a five-wave move to the downside, and we're still in the process of completing our wave 3 here for SpaceX. I would like to get it under 100. I'm not saying that that's about to happen or anything like that, but I mean that would be nice, right? Get it under a hundo. But I'm not feeling anything about this chart. And then MU, the last time we looked at that on Friday, it started to reject underneath that VWAP, and it dropped down a bit more. So 979 right now, MU. It did end up breaking above VWAP, losing it, almost back testing it there, and now we're back at the trend line of support, trying to hold on for dear life here on MU. Remember that if we do lose this trend line here, we'll be looking down here for the gap fill, and the gap fill is right here. We'll be looking for that gap fill. I'm put on a 4-hour time frame so you can see it a little bit better, but this was our 4-hour plan here until it's not, and then potentially come down here and fill in this gap. And this gap can be extended down lower depending on what time frame you're using. I did mine from a weekly time frame, so it doesn't fill in this portion here because of the time frame I used when I did it. But that's MU. Looking a little weak. And like I said, I would not fade the insider selling pressure. This was just, a risk to take if you were feeling bullish. And I also posted on this at the time that if you felt bearish, then look for a rejection around that VWAP there. And I actually show you exactly what I said. I don't think I showed it to you on Friday. Um, but But we had been looking at this long before it even got down here to this point. So we know that we were looking for it way before it got down here. Um, that it was part of the plan. And this is what I ended up posting for you. And I said that if you felt bearish and you didn't have to look for long. You could just sit on your hands and wait and find a rejection around that VWAP there. Um, you know, potential for a short around that VWAP. And again, like I said, I'm not downplaying the selling pressure. Just wanted to make that clear. I do not want to downplay the selling pressure that is present, and we still have a bunch of shares build up to be, profit to be taken here on MU based on the reports, right? So that's where we're at on that. Get back over here on this one. Who else did I end up giving you the update on? I had talked to you about Bitcoin, and then of course, SpaceX ended up being a terrible freaking idea. um, Spy, Spy is looking pretty decent. We covered a short a short position here for Spy. It's still holding underneath. I just slid it over. I hate to see. No, it's still holding in here. It hasn't violated. It's this level right here. Um, it's this level right here would be where you get stopped out at if you did. It was an aggressive entry. It was a limit entry. It wasn't a wait and see what happens right here type of situation. Because we understood that we would have a quick invalidation if price pushed into here, and it was only a 1.76 risk there. For a greater reward, if it were to work out, looking for it to come back down here, 731, and then if lucky, then a full move down here. And then I ended up looking at this thing on Friday, like, oh my gosh, look at the strength on it. It looks pretty decent. It looks pretty decent. So we'll see how this goes today if it's going to invalidate this position. That was also covered, if it does. It is what it is. And then there was oil. I put it on a 1 and take a look see here at oil. When we were last discussing oil, we were talking about the fact that oil was still holding the 382 50% retracement. It eventually ended up dropping into our pivot level here and getting the bounce away after breaking here. This stopped being a bull flag once we lost that 38. Once we lost the 50% retracement, I prefer the 382. But like I said to you, I deleted the potential long entry right through here once this right here happened because at that point we were just still creating lower highs and lower lows. Even if we were still holding here around the zone where people were willing to pay a little bit more money, we were still making lower highs and lower lows at that point, and this stops being a flag for me. Stops being a flag for me because of that. So we got started to dip a little bit too steep in here. And we did bounce off of the pivot level. Boy, I tell you, I tell you, I tell you, I tell you. I'm not liking anything in the market right now, to be honest with you. Nothing. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Let me just calm down through here and take a look at ABGO. I know I ended up talking about um, Broadcom. Still hasn't hit anything that I would be interested in. You see my stream is moving a little bit slow for some reason. I'm well beyond anything that's showing up right now. I'm gonna get back over here on Bitcoin because there's really nothing in here that's interesting to me. Yeah, let me take a look at MSTR. We want to look at MSTR. Guess we can check back in on strategy. We get a move down here into this golden pocket. We can check back in on it. Just see one more thing here. Okay. And then I use the view as a recovery as opposed to that line that I had down there. So I do it like that. That way I'll know it's recovering if we get back up here. But right now it looks like a descending channel. Okay. I'm showing a small amount of underlying strength here on the MACD. More like a squeeze on it. Let's take a look at aside from that, I don't really see anything interesting. Um, chart. Yeah, let me just see where this hits at. One last thing. Usually, the closer we can get price to the bottom side of the trend line, a lot better I think it's going to be. So check back in on Strat a little later. Let's get back over here to Bitcoin. Trying to hold our 50%. I mean, I say 50%. We're trying to hold our mean here for Bitcoin. Um, Again, I do think that this is possible right here. I think that that's possible there. Right. Yesterday's move did cause us to break the momentum line. So the trend regression line that's right here, momentum line that's here. We did break below that um, with the push down yesterday. Kind of back testing it right now. Uh, it was working out for a little while. You can see that it was working out for a little while. And you can see the cleaner break of momentum right here. And then whatever that was that came back to stop out people who were trading the trend line break, whatever that was. But I basically did the same thing here that you noticed on MSTR is a little channel here. Now MSTR's channel looks a little bit cleaner than this one. Because this one right here is going to have this wick break right here. But from this point here forward, it's let me do it like so I can take that out of my focus. A little bit of bullish divergence with the lower low on the oscillator and the higher low on price action here on the 4-hour time frame. Because again, volume's very shisty over the weekend. So you can see right here that we do have a little bit of bullish divergence right here. A little bit of hidden bullish divergence here. We're on the cusp of seeing a bearish cross on the MACD though. We are there. I don't know if I have MACD in here. Okay, there it is. You can see right here we're on the cusp of getting the. We already had got the delta cross now, but the MACD itself is nearing to, crossing below the zero line. Maybe we can hold up and get a swoop back up since we do have the hidden bullish divergence. But if we don't, then it's going to be a terrible look for Bitcoin. Again, we would be looking down towards the in the immediate, the 382 50% retracement, if we lose this golden pocket that we're currently seeing our reaction from, which is this here. So I go pocket. I'm trying to understand why my golden pocket itself doesn't show up in here. Because one, I had a don't, yeah, we're crossing below the image now. There you have it. Yeah, makes it spill over a lot faster when you get that. You can see it a lot better right here. Yeah, once you get that, you spill over a lot faster. And you don't have to worry about that situation here on the 15-minute or the 1 hour time frame because the MACD is already below the zero on both of those time frames, along with the cross below the delta. So, well, except for on the 15-minute. So those have already played out that bearishness from the MACD daily time frame never recovered from it just yet. So the only one we have right now is going to be this 4 hour. We're going to get a bounce. Between this golden pocket and this trend line down here, we're gonna get a bounce. It's gonna be finding the appropriate entry. 15 minutes trying to hold some sort of support right here. But it is a must hold right here. Actually at the 0.618, it is a must hold like right here. So this golden pocket is a must hold, obviously. Otherwise, we're gonna take out that low. Right now, what we have here is a 50% retracement. Doesn't look strong. Yeah, would not be looking to rush into that. Yeah. Like I said, we broke momentum on that 4 hour. We did break the momentum line through here on the 4 hour time frame. And then right here, where the RSI was telling us that we were getting the bounce from, we were actually not getting the bounce from this. We had actually broken below this point, which is here. I like to keep that noise out. So here RSI was showing that we were getting a bounce from this right here, that red one. But we actually had already broken through it, and then you can see that's confirmed through the momentum break instead. So a small bit of a discrepancy in there, even though we do have the hidden bullish divergence, there's a small bit of discrepancy in there. And as it's showing us bouncing away, we just reject it from it instead. So, I like to respect the break until we reclaim it. We reclaim it, then we can talk about the potential for the hidden bullish divergence to play out. but we have to reclaim it first, and we haven't done so. So that is that situation there. Math ain't mathing, basically. The math is not mathing. So a reclaim would be nice. And that would be us having to reclaim 63, 180. I don't like it. I don't like it. Yeah, I don't like it. That's a point of control. Not point of control, but value area low. Yeah, MSTR is rolling over as well. I've already checked this morning to see if he's filed filed any new reports, and he hasn't. Not this morning anyway. Doesn't mean he hasn't sold something or bought something, but there's nothing showing. Mm. I will let you know if I do enter. Right now, I'm being a little bit patient. Mm, trying to hold that value area low. Trying to hold it. Let me see what this is. Mm. Again, we're still trying to hold the value area low of the range. Um, there's a 50% retracement, Fibonacci retracement, which right now it doesn't look, to me personally, um, 50% just doesn't look really strong right here. Uh, I can see all the ways we're trying to hold on this 15 minute, but I just don't like it right now. Um, I really feel inclined to wait for the 4 hour to play out whatever it's trying to do, or to show that it has strength to play out whatever it's trying to do. Really would rather wait on that. Um, Probably cleanest chart for me to use right now. Oh, I am sleepy. Mhm. We have that liquidity that's building just below the slow right here. I don't know why I got Arnold Schwarzenegger stuck in my head right now saying, if it bleeds, you can kill it. Or does it say if it bleeds, you can die? Something like that. Stuck in my head. Mm. We just opened a new 1 hour candle, so we're getting a reaction off of that new 1 hour candle opening and opening above the value area low. So basically, that's what's happening right here. You see that new candle that came in. It's gonna take me there. I'll take you there. Okay, we got it up. So you can see where we opened up our new 1 hour candle and we opened it up above our value area low. So getting that reaction from that. We are under a little compression right here. See if it's slight compression. Mhm. It's a nice engulfing. Beautiful engulfing. Beautiful pine tree happening right now. That could just be a scalp. I'm still waiting. Mm-mm. What was this BS right here? Oh, they did it like that. Sorry, I don't have a whole lot to say this morning. I'm actually kind of tired. Really, really tired. A lot more interested in a hyperliquid loan. We still haven't tapped into that golden pocket just yet. We're in the middle of Mm, basically in the middle of nowhere, but we did catch some support here before where we are with hyperliquid. So let's see, using a 4-hour time frame right now, and telling me to wait. I know I'm waiting on Bitcoin right now, but see this right here with hyperliquid. You can see right here how this area where it's kind of holding up at, it held at support, support, resistance, resistance. Um, I guess it depends on, yeah, and then resistance again right here. So I like where we're at. I just want to see it come back into this golden pocket, which means on the way back up, it could have a little bit of a struggle right here. But I like this. I like this. The hype. Just want to make it a little bit more sense, but it is a good little spot right here where it could try to flip this prior resistance into support potentially. Mm. I know we broke this and we broke down right here. I do like where it is. Mm, but do like this. Mhm. It's a nice swing point. So, like I said, I have multiple touches right here. I like it a lot. Multiple touches. Rejection, 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 rejection. Then you can see the support. Over shooting price. I don't know. It's gonna follow Bitcoin though. Still waiting. I mean, I would just think this bear deal would play out right, unless they come in and invalidate it. I just think that it would. Just to acknowledge my low down here. Less than 25 minutes left on this 4-hour candle close. See what difference that's gonna make. I said we are building some liquidity. We do have liquidity down up there. Uh, this little so-called demand zone, but I highly doubt it. We'll see. This What kind of day are we gonna have today? That is the question. Change this bottom line. Just looking at something else. So All I'm looking at right here is the Bollinger. That's it. I'm just looking at what our current volatility range is until we break it. So you can see what I'm doing right here. You can see that's all I've done. All I'm doing with the trend line right here is just looking at where our current volatility range is. I did just have it right here. So that's it. Nothing special. Just following that. Mhm. The reason why I'm keeping an eye on that is because on the 4-hour time frame, I noticed that we're outside of standard deviation two on the 4-hour time frame. Uh, we do have V-shaped posturing on the Bollinger Band, which means it is attempting to expand. It's not aggressive right now, as you can see, because we're still just kind of holding in this little zone above that value area high at the moment. So, but I do still notice that. And then we also broke that trend line on that 4-hour time frame as well. Even though we do have the hidden bullish divergence, we did break momentum on the 4-hour also, at least until we recover it. There are some things I see on that time frame that I do like, but uh, it's going to require a little bit of patience before making a decision to jump into it. At least for me, it is. Um, mhm. Remember our initial measure moves? I don't know if anybody remembers our initial measure moves, but we did have, um, initial measure move that would have brought us back down into here. We also had the one, let me put it over here. I'm trying right here and see if I cannot. See if I still have it in here. Probably don't still have it in here. Looks like I don't still have it in here. Um, this thing always lines up with the golden pocket. That's what that is. That area low is the golden pocket. Must also be standard deviation 2, maybe, possibly standard deviation 2. Could end up being standard deviation 2. In 5 minutes, the new 4-hour candle will open. I'm gonna give it a few more minutes because I know I typically leave at 8 o'clock, but I'm gonna give it a few more minutes and I'm gonna go because I know, you know, uh, Market doesn't really do too much these days when I come in. I can just tell you what I'm the most interested in. As you can see from where I was drawing some things out here. Um, I am to do one more thing. Hang on, baby, right here. What I am more interested in, I'm interested in the full rotation here down to the golden pocket. So I am interested in the golden pocket bounce. I would also be interested if we were to break below the golden pocket, the 786. So coming back into this demand zone right here. Those are two levels areas that I will be watching for. The only thing that's going to change my mind is if we get a shift in momentum here on this 4 hour time frame. Because, like I said, we do have lower lows on the oscillator, higher lows on price action. So, unless we see acceleration, I mean, unless we hold here and we do see a momentum break back in, I'm going to be looking down here for my entry. So it will again be somewhere along the lines of this golden pocket is what I'm looking at. Golden pocket. Watching that. Um, I'm gonna look for see it all the way back to here. So it would be a golden pocket thing. Try to keep it as simple as possible in terms of the stop loss. It's negotiable. For me, it is negotiable. Um, I mean, it could just not have to re-enter and just look at something like this. Um, so the larger stop, the smaller position could look at it like this right here. But once price comes out here, I really want to see what the reaction looks like. So it could be anywhere from there into here that I'd be looking to take an entry from. Um, let's see where that exact number is. I want to do it according to that number there. So I would be interested in that. So this all depends on how I will set my stop loss. Um, if if price is to come into here, what the reaction is like right here, what things look like for me to consider taking the entry from here. Otherwise, I will be looking down at the 786 at this demand zone right here, um, to see if I could get an entry there. That all depends on if price even comes down here, because I don't know if price is gonna come down here. And then that'll change where my stop would actually end up going. This is gonna look trashy right now. It's not gonna look like a good uh, risk to reward situation, but it could be any one of these entries right here for me. There or here, and then I would be looking for price action to come back up towards this trend line. But we'll see. If this becomes my entry right here, this is gonna look a lot better because it's gonna look something like that, you know. That's what I'm gonna be watching for right now. Again, like I said, unless momentum, shifts back to the upside, which I don't know if that's gonna be the case. I don't know. Even though I can see the hidden bullish divergence, I don't know. Uh, this zone right here is just scalpable. This is more of a swing trade situation right in here. This is scalpable. So I'm looking for a swing trade. And yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah, I'm looking for a swing trade if I can get it. If one wants to hold this value area low. So you can choose to scalp around that value area low, um, but you're still holding the VWAP, the more local VWAP right now. And we've already bounced off of that golden pocket. Um, I'm just gonna wait though. I'm gonna chill on my hands. I'm starting to squeeze a little bit more in here. Whoop-de-doo. Yeah. Let me show you this before I go to. I was just saying to you about the reason of me waiting and all of that is because this breakdown right here. And then I mentioned it, but I didn't show it to you. But the Bollinger Band, we do have a bit of an expansion right here. You can see that. I'm gonna take off this third one um, here, but you can see how we're down here around standard deviation 2 here. You got the V, the V shape right here. It's not aggressive just yet. Uh, it could, it may not become more aggressive. Uh, and so if it doesn't, again, the zone right here is scalpable. I'm not looking for a scalp. I'm really looking for a swing trade. Um, yeah, it's just some sort of reaction to come about with these high volume areas in here. I like to look at it, compare it with the VWAP though. I don't have another VWAP down through here unless I do. No, I don't have another VWAP down through here other than the macro VWAP, which is here. So best of luck to you. This is me right here. And get it, I get it, I don't, I don't. I have money to trade another time. I appreciate you for joining me. I'm down in crypto TA. Take a look back over here at SPY before I did see dues. See SPY turned down a little bit in here. Nothing aggressive right now. Um, yeah, turned down a little bit right there, but nothing aggressive. Uh, VIX up right now. VIX is up right now. And yeah, I mean, this doesn't look bad on USD. Doesn't look bad at all. So yeah, I'm gonna chill for a minute and then see how things end up going. I just know that this is the weekend shenanigans stuff. I don't know. I don't know about the weekend shenanigans stuff. They just held us until they started to drop us yesterday. So, and the bear divs on the daily time frame. You got the bearish divergence on the daily. Uh, what can I say? Got the bear divs here. Uh, but aside from that, And kudos to you if you had good patience and didn't feel FOMO right there. Kudos to you. All right. See you tomorrow. I'll give an update on X at Down to Crypto TA. I will give an update over there. But for now, I'm just going to chill until I can get some clarity.